What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Andrew, and this week we're doing a video on how much water or how big of an area do you need for your turtles, whether it be red ear sliders, painted turtles, matte turtles, any aquatic turtle. I'm Andrew Edwards. I've spent most of my life learning about animals, and now focusing on education, breeding, care, and the discovering of new animals. Welcome to Andrew's Reptile Arc. So we are talking about red ear sliders today, and that's what we have in our pond right here. We're using a new camera so we can kind of zoom in. Now this is Kiwi and Squirtle, our two red ear sliders. You can see they're not very fond of the camera right now, but that's fine. Now we are talking about how much water or how much space to give them. We'll cover those two topics. The first topic we're going to be covering is how much water you should be giving them. Now this is a 150-gallon tank or stock tank, and that is really large for these two size turtles. These guys are about 4 to 5 inches. I'll post a picture so that you guys can see about how big they are. Nowhere near full grown. And you can see how much area they have in this enclosure. I do want to mention they also have a land portion, which is actually quite big. It is 2 feet by maybe about the same. So that is a large area for these guys. Now, when you go on care sheets, fact sheets about them, they say you need about 10 gallons to every inch of shell that they have. This is a very good guideline, but I wouldn't say it's like by law you need to have it. An adult would do well in about 75 to 100 gallon tank, and that's for one turtle. These guys are small, so a 150 gallon will work. So that's what we're really talking about, is water size. Now, these fact sheets aren't really covering the topic of land either. Are they talking about water? Are they talking about land too? They don't really specify, and that's what I was doing right before this video, is really giving you guys a total overview. And I was checking out those sites. They don't mention anything about land. Now these guys will go on land. That's why we did give them some land area. We have a little hide for them in case they want to go in. But like I said, that is kind of big. So these guys are about 4 to 5 inches, like I said. This is really large for them. But I would say this is a good size for an adult turtle as well. We're not sure about the gender. Females do get bigger than males. So if these guys are males, obviously they won't need as much room as a female, which is fine. Now when they're babies, we had them in a 35-gallon tank, and they were only a few inches. That's fine. You raise the water level, or you lower the water level just a little bit, and you put in a basking platform for them. Now once they get bigger, they will need to upgrade size of tank. And that's kind of what we're working with right now. So we went from that to a major upgrade of a 125-gallon fish tank that's upstairs. Then we moved them down here to 150 gallons. Now this will do them for probably the rest of their lives. I know a lot of you will probably say, oh, that's, too small tank for them. They do fine in this. That's just a guideline online, the 100-gallon and the 75-gallon. Just a guideline. You do need to know the size for your turtle. We'll pull one of these guys out eventually once they come over. So this stock tank is a Little Giant. I think that's the company, Little Giant. And it is, I think it's 63 by almost 43. And you also have 21 inches deep of water, minus the water level right there. So these guys can handle deep water. They can swim down pretty deep, even as babies. So you do want to provide them with some water depth. Look at this guy just coming up. Perfect shot. Now I can actually zoom in for you guys. The camera's not waterproof, unfortunately, but... Now, some of you might be asking, why did we put this top on? We have covered it in a previous video, but this is mainly to keep the humidity in. When you have a large body of water in your house, humidity, or the water evaporates, causing humidity. We don't want that. This does keep it closed, and we have a plexiglass lid right here, and the same one down here. So that does keep in the humidity, and it does double as the basking platform like we talked about. So this is part of the lid, and it's just screwed to the frame of the pond. These guys do climb this ramp, and they do sit up here. We do have the UVB and the heat right here shining down. So that's always good. So while we're talking about water and everything like that, we will also cover the topic of filtration. Now, filtration is very important for a turtle pond, turtle tank, whatever you have. You can see it coming out of here. That is the out port. The import is down there. Hopefully you can see it. You can see the hose coming out right there. And that does go into a filter that's providing mechanical, biological, and chemical filtration. I think I said all three of them, but I think. The filter we have is meant for a pond. Now this filter right here is pumping out around 4 times the amount of water we have in here, which is a generally good rule. You want anywhere from 3 to 4 times gallons per hour that the pond has. So if this has 150, you want at least 3 or 4 times, which we're pretty dead in the middle of that. So this pump we're running down here is a pond pump that I think is 560 gallons per hour. So that is filtering quite a bit of water. And that is every hour. So these guys do have a very clean pond. We did feed them yesterday, so you can see the food right there. And we also do have some cichlids in here, which are a type of fish. Hopefully in an underwater shot I can get that too. And these guys do perfectly fine with turtles. I've never had a problem. They don't eat them. They don't bother them. Cichlids are an aggressive fish, so they will keep their territory. They will stick up for themselves. They're not going to roll over like some of your tropical fish. And while we're talking about gallons and tank size, you can see one darting over there. You can see that we have this heavily planted. We have these roots. If you guys want to know where I got them, I got these big plastic root system from PetSmart. They do work very well. They're waterproof. They do have holes in them, so they sink easier. So that does break up visibility. Now, when you're keeping 2 turtles together or anything together, you do want to have a breakup of visual eye line, so they're not constantly looking at each other from across the pond. They do have very good vision. They can see from across the water, even though you can't. And we do have the plants in there as well for the same purpose. Basking platform there that we're using as an underwater cave for them. And the rock, surprisingly, you can see how far that is off the water. No really trail or pathway for them to follow. They do climb up there, which is super cool. I don't really have a video of it because every time we come downstairs they dart back into the water. They can climb very well, so the top kind of keeps them in the tank at all times. Now, when we just had the tote down, or the pond down here, we didn't have the top on it. So we did have to lower the water level. Now we can raise the water level, so there's even more water in here. So that's always a good thing. Hopefully this picture is very good. But you can see how calm they are, the tail sticking straight out. It means they are calm. If they have their tail tucked in, it means they're a little nervous, which is always not what we want. But turtles do feel safer in the water, so that's why they like to swim a lot. They will spend most of their day in the water, so don't be scared if you don't see them basking. Even when we come downstairs, we've had these guys for a long time now. They still will dart in the water. It's an instinct. You won't be able to get out of them. It's just the way they are. Now this will work for painted turtles, map turtles, like I said. Any aquatic turtle, the ones that don't really swim all that much, you probably want to reduce the water level, but you're going to have to go look at care guides for that and take everything with a grain of salt, like I said. Don't follow the 75 or 100 gallons for every inch of your turtle size. I guess that varies depending on the size of your turtle. For me, offering the most amount of space is always the best. I like doing that. Like pretty much all our cages, they're all bigger than they should be. Another thing I would like to cover is glass aquariums versus ponds like this. Now, there is some debate whether which one is better. If you guys are looking to view your animal because it's up on a shelf, probably better to go with an aquarium. Now, aquariums don't really get to this size here. Well, I guess they do, but they're very expensive. Not a lot of people can afford to have massive aquariums, plus they do weigh a lot, so that is also a factor that you might want to consider. So ponds are always a good way to go. You can look down on them, you can see them. As you can see, it's not that dark. I mean, it's a little dark over there because we have the little thing right here. We will probably eventually put glass on here so you guys can see clearly. Aquariums I don't really like because they do cost a lot. They are hard to keep clean because it's easier to see the gross stuff that goes in there. Not to say that we can't see it in here. We can. We actually just did a water change yesterday, so it's pretty clean right now. That's something that I don't like about aquariums. You can see the gross stuff a lot more. You can see your turtles better. That is a pro. But I think ponds are better. You can provide more water. Sometimes there's interesting shapes like Toothless's. That's an interesting shape that you guys could put turtles in. That's a preformed pond. That's what you could do. Charlie's is another thing. That's a custom-made pond. That's our Cayman, by the way. So if you guys want to see ideas about those, go check out those videos. But I think these stock tanks are amazing. They're meant to hold water so they'll last a long time. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So you guys can make your own decisions. This is how I keep them. I think they're obviously very healthy. So I think I'm doing something right. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.